This one's a brand new acquisition of mine. I've been playing other people's copies for a couple years now. Figured it was time to break down and buy my own. It's Red Dragon Inn by Slugfest Games. It's a great drinking party game. It's better the more people you have. With the new expansions, I think the game can support up to 20 players. The downside is the more players you have, the slower the game goes, the longer you have to wait in between turns. So I usually recommend, if you're going to play it, I wouldn't go over 8 people, maybe 10. Definitely no less than 3. They say it can be played 2-player, but you lose a lot of the mechanics to it in 2-player. 3 is like the bare minimum, 4 ideally. The main idea of the game here is that you're a group of adventurers. You've been out, you've been doing dungeon runs, you got your loot, you came back to the bar to split it up, to do some gambling, to do some drinking, and waste the night away. And your goal is to be the last person sober and conscious at the end of the night and still have money left. And if you get drunk, the bar wench throws you out, but not before stealing your money and dividing it among your other party members and keeping a cut for herself, of course. If you run out of money, they throw you out because you're a deadbeat and they don't want you just hanging out. And the whole game based around buying drinks for other players. Drinks have different effects. There's drinking contests. There's what they call gambling, which in the base game is just playing a card to start a gambling round. Everybody antes in, and there's different cards to take the hand as the game goes. If nobody has a card to counter, whoever's controlling the hand at the end of that turn takes the pot and play moves on. You can also steal money from each other. There's ways to the wizard can conjure up fake coins, things like that. The bar wench just walked off with the pot of the gambling game many times. Lots of different things like that. There's 4 base sets like this out now. Each one contains 4 new characters and all the stuff you need to play them. There's also currently 4 single-player expansion packs, which have a single character in them, and each one of those has unique mechanics that they add to the game. I ordered 2 of the single-player ones, my 2 favorite characters, and I got the base set for now just so we can play. So I'll open it up and show you what's in there. So the first thing we have is our rule book. It's nice color, has pictures to show you things. It's broken down into sections. It does a really good job of explaining everything. I don't think there's a lot that they left uncovered in the base rulebook. They did add more to it when the expansions came, but each expansion comes with its own little rules that adds on. The biggest thing in here is this last page, which is about other rules, which is about card interactions and how certain combos work, which is probably the only thing that really needed clarification. Next thing you'll see is our player boards. Each player gets one of these. They're extremely high glossy, so I don't know if I can do this without a glare. But your character deck's going to be here, your discard pile, your waiting drinks that are waiting for you to drink them. This here, you start on 20 with a red indicator will be your health going down. This side is your alcohol, has a white indicator, it goes up. If the 2 ever cross, you're out of the game. And in the bottom here in the middle, which is really helpful for explaining the game to new players, is a turn order. And you just go down this list each time it's their turn. You get 4 of those, 1 for each character. Now the ones in the single player expansions are much smaller than these because they come in a smaller box. Some people complain about it. I think it's fine. Usually you're going to have extras of these large ones anyway, so you can just have a player use these. The smaller ones are more portable, so you get a handful of those. They're nice to carry around if you're traveling and don't want to bring the big box. Each of the big boxes comes in a tray just like this. Separates out your drink deck, the 4 character decks. You have your gold coins, which are the currency for the game. And then you have your glass beads, which are used, the red for your health, the white for your alcohol. And there's 4 of each of those in there, 1 for each character. The smaller single character expansion packs, because the board is smaller, uses a little cardboard tokens to mark those. Some people like them, some people don't. It's not hard to track down some red and white glass, or red and clear glass beads. Your drink deck here is You're going to be forcing other players to take drinks throughout the game. You're going to be drinking yourself. Each one of them has a different drink style and alcohol content. Some are dangerous and hurt you. There's even some magic ones that'll heal you. Ones that have a chaser mean you drink another drink on top of it. And then there's things like drinking contests and whatnot. Each one of the characters has a story behind them, some personality to them, and it kind of explains how they work. Gurky's the sneak. He's the thief of the party. So he's very good at cheating. So when you go to do a hand of gambling, he can pull cards out of his sleeve. He can steal money from the pot. Things like that. That's his specialty. Zot and his crazy rabbit Pookie have magic abilities because he's the wizard of the party. So he has a lot of things where he can do tricks here and there. He's decent at gambling because he's good at card tricks. And I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, but Deirdre, the princess or the priestess here, has her goddess backing her up. So she's very good at healing damage to her health. She can protect her from a lot of things and that sort of stuff. But she really, really is as they put it even in the description, a cheap date. She doesn't have much that can remove alcohol. So once she starts drinking, it goes downhill quickly for her. Fiona's good all around. She's a warrior of the group. She has lots of things to regenerate her constitution, her health, lots of things to do damage to other people because she's physically violent, and she always has her weapons out. She has a high constitution, so she can deal with alcohol well. Her problem is that she isn't very good with her money and tends to go broke. The second expansion was very similar to the first. It contained one character of a couple different class types, some more drinks. The third expansion introduced a lot of special mechanics. Each character has their own special thing. The 4 single-player decks all have their own special things. The 4th edition of the game came back to the basics. There's nothing special about the characters. There's one of each archetype, basically. But it added in a sea event deck, because you're taking, instead of at the bar, you're actually on board a ship playing cards, and things can happen out at sea, and it affects how the game goes. All in all, it's a fun game, especially if you got a good-hearted group of players. Anybody who's had a D&D group will find this fun to play with the same guys. Definitely worth checking out. If you're not sure you like it, find somebody else who has a copy and give theirs a play. I guarantee you're going to like it. I've only ever met 2 people who didn't like the game. And most of them are because they were expecting a different type of game. There's even a newer expansion that allows you to actually play out the rounds of gambling instead of using the in-game cards. And these are our 4 characters that come in this base set. We have our priestess there. We have our warrior. We have our thief. And our wizard and his crazy rabbit. And for reference, the crazy, insane bunny here, Pookie, actually is one of the single character expansions that came later. And basically, after Zot retires for the evening, he comes down to the inn by himself. And let's just say, not only is he psychotic, he's a mean drunk. Anyway, that is Red Dragon Inn by Slugfest Games. I might do a little video on some of the expansions as I get them in. It is an older game. It came out in 1997, I think. So you should have no problem getting a hold of it, though. They've done plenty of reprints. And the other expansions are cool. You can start with any of the base games. I started with this one just because it's got the most rounded group of characters. But any of the 4 base sets of the game come with everything you need to play. So it's not like an expansion in a normal sense where you need the base and the expansion. There are the single character expansions which do require the base set to play. But any of the 4 main base sets, it's really what you want to play with. The 4th one is the seagoing one that has the pirate ship and the sea deck in it. The 3rd one has the extra mechanics for each character, and then the first 2 are just extra characters, which depending on which one you want. I think the second one comes with a bard and a druid. So anyway, take a look. It's a great game, and I hope you have fun with it.